Hey guys, Todd Falcone here. Welcome to toddfalcone.com. Today I want to address the whole idea of when a top person leaves, what do you do? Okay, so I'm going to cover it in two different ways. Number one, what if a top person leaves your company and they're not on your team? For example, they're a key leader that you looked up to, and maybe it was a highly public figure in your network marketing business, and then they decide to exit. Well, the reality is people leave even the greatest companies out there for whatever their own reasons are, and those reasons are too many to even mention in this particular video. If a top leader leaves, of course, it might shake things up a little bit, and people are like worried, oh my gosh, well, are we falling apart because they left? Well, we don't really know exactly why they left. I've had many, many instances where people have left companies that I've been involved in that were highly public figures. At that point, really, for me, it's to maintain my steadiness, to maintain the direction that I'm heading, and to communicate with the people that are in the organization that, you know, everything's going to be all right. You know, they decided for their own reason to go someplace else, and they left. And to basically give your team some assuredness that everything's going to be okay. Now, you have to be the rock, though. You have to be that solid person that doesn't freak out and panic because that person left. So it really takes you being in that position first and foremost, and then you're kind of more or less holding your team together. Now, do you communicate to all the masses, oh, John Smith left, everybody, we got to tell everybody? Well, it's only if it's public knowledge that this big person left, then, you know, you may want to address it rather than, you know, sweep it underneath the rug and ignore it, just so that people, you know that they know and that we all know, and everything's going to be all right. And typically what happens is a little bit of disruption for a couple weeks, and then things get back to normal. Now, number two is, well, what happens when a leader on your team leaves, like some person in your organization that was doing a significant amount of volume and they left? Well, here's the deal. Number one, to prevent that from happening, you want to stay in contact. That's why I have this thing called the 7-day rule, which many of you have heard about if you followed me for any period of time, and that is never let more than 7 days pass without having at least some type of communication with the key leaders on your team, even if they're super independent and they don't need you, because it can be really easy for a lot of time to go in between contacts because they don't need you for three-way calls or support or any of that stuff. But even though they don't, you still want to maintain contact. That way, if something goes wrong, you can catch it ahead of time. So first and foremost, you want to stay in contact with people so that you'll find out if something's amiss with this person. You'll likely catch it before something really festers into something significant, and then they end up leaving. Now, the reality is sometimes you can't save them. So you do your best to talk to people, to communicate with them, find out what's wrong. If they choose to go someplace else, I've always been of this philosophy: love them on the way in and love them on the way out. Because here's the thing, sometimes people leave and they realize, oh my gosh, I made a bad decision. And if you were like, oh, flaming them and yelling at them and unfriending them and blocking them and you know, you're my friend today because you were in my downline, and then you're my enemy tomorrow because you're out of my team, which I see happen all the time, which is ridiculous, then they're not going to come back. They'll never come back. But if you're like, hey brother, listen, if that's what you got to do for your family if you feel like that's a better fit for you, then go for it. And, you know, if you decide you want to come back, I'm happy to have you back. Now, you know, people leave companies in two different ways, clean or dirty, to be honest with you. I mean, there's really only two ways. Number one is they kind of walk away off into the sunset and don't disrupt things, and they just kind of go build whatever they're going to go build. And sometimes people go in and they kind of pillage and they tear apart and they create a lot of drama, and that's hard. And I call it the dirty way, but it's just a way, whatever it is. I mean, it's not as clean as the other way. So even if they do that, your job is to do the best you can to hold your team together and to be, you know, focused on the vision and focused on the task at hand. And again, you know, being matured to realize that some people leave companies, even the greatest companies, even the ones that are just rocking right now, that are just flying all over the place and business is booming, people leave those companies. So communication, I think, is key, period. The more you communicate, the more clearly, the more frequent that you communicate with people on your team, you're less likely to lose people, but you're not going to prevent it. But that's it for today. Hope you had a great day. I'm having a great day. We'll see you in another video, and thanks for watching. We'll see you.